Hi, it's Greg here with your Daily 5. So first of all, maybe a little bit of backdrop. We've got an overlay here where the economy could slow down meaningfully due to high costs of commodities, and that might give us one big thrust run in the commodities. What does a thrust run mean? Well, we're sitting here with a position where if we take a lot of the commodities that Russia produces out of the market, even if it's only a percentage of them, even before the Ukraine crisis, Jeff Curry from Goldman Sachs was saying we have a molecule crisis, meaning we don't have enough molecules of copper, of steel, of aluminum, of oil, natural gas. We're really low on all of the major supplies, and we've underinvested in them. And one of the big problems we're going to have, all of a sudden, if we take one of the major producers, and it was easy to whip and blame Russia for not being up to environmental standards and all that kind of stuff. The issue now is taking their product off the market. That really puts pressure on the rest of the world to meet that demand. So we're in a situation where we've set the world up to be tight on all of this stuff to begin with hopes of pushing everybody towards a greener future. Now the reverse system is probably kicking in here, where now we're going to take energy wherever we can get it, however we can get it in the meantime. So I'm expecting an actual contraction in supply while these companies try to speed up. And I'll give you one example. The petroleum program at the University of Calgary used to graduate 400 engineers a year. It's closed. Nobody wanted to be a petroleum graduate anymore. University of Alberta had a lot of oil and gas engineering programs as well. They're closed. And when we go around North America, a lot of these programs closed because students didn't want to go into them. They wanted to go into green energy, or they wanted to go into different types of technology. So the concern we've got is we don't actually have graduates to come in and backfill for the people who are retiring. And as all of these stocks are hitting new highs, those people are retiring because their stocks and option plans that have been sideways for years have all of a sudden kicked up and are worth something. So they're taking the money off the table and retiring. That's created two things. One is the older people are retiring and there is no new people to backfill. So just in historical terms, we'd normally have the oil patch, kind of speed up drilling and get going. Well, the reality is we don't even have the people to speed up the drilling and get going, nor do we have the expertise to get that done just yet. So this is going to be a sluggish turn here as we try. And now when we compound that with the Russia situation, we're literally going to be trying to keep the world in energy as quick as possible without doing severe damage to the environment. So I think it's a step change in what's going on. And as the world energy crisis unfolds, and it's been unfolding for 6 months, but as the world energy crisis unfolds, we're going to have a much bigger shock to the economy in terms of putting food on the table and heating or cooling your homes. And so those things are going to really drive the thrust of my presentation today. So I want to talk specifically about commodity stocks and why this overlay is so important. So hopefully I didn't bore you with my intro, but the kicker is, here's ConocoPhilips breaking out. Oil's about $100 a barrel today. 3 months ago, nobody thought it could get to 100 by summer. We could be at 150 by summer. So we have lots of upside potential here on this name. And I like this. The PPO is just turning up again here. It's just breaking out to new highs. Any sort of shakeout or movement in this area could be a very nice, attractive entry. The second one I've got here is Teck Resources. It's actually a Canadian company. I did a rail tour through the Rocky Mountains in September, and we went down to Vancouver. And it took you past the Highland Valley Copper Mine, and you saw the potash trains coming in and the coal trains going in and oil trains coming. You saw lumber being dispersed. So the rail lines carry a lot of this commodity type stuff. Well, Teck Resources is a met coal producer, and coal names have been really doing well. They also have Highland Valley Copper Mine, which is a pretty big mine. They have zinc mines. They have a wide variety of metals. So anyway, I expect this name to continue to go higher. The Scooter ranking's pinned up against the top here, and I think it's just going to keep rocking. So I like this name as it breaks out. Looking at Callon Petroleum, this one has been sideways for 4 or 5 months while oil's just paused. I think this one is the next one to just get a fire under it and it starts to take off like it did on the left side of the chart here, where moved up $20 in a couple of weeks. If Callon gets going here, I think this is another name that could also start to accelerate to the upside. Again, fitting with the theme of energy crisis going on. Palo Alto Networks, I put this one in just because cybersecurity, we've already seen it where the anonymous have started to attack Russian websites and Russian government sites, creating havoc in their internet. And on the flip side, they've been trying to do everything they can to help keep the Ukraine news media up through different channels and venues. And Elon Musk has started to, he announced that their satellite service would be available over Ukraine. So you've got a whole bunch of competing forces here, but the big thing we're going to have is this cyber event where we're trying to make sure we have our information systems online, both for not damaging working systems, but also to try and use it in a forward way where you can exploit holes in other people's networks. So I think the cybersecurity space is a big one. This Palo Alto network chart's been breaking out, and it looks just ready to continue on its way. And my last chart is a favorite for me. I've been talking about this one for a while, but it actually peaked out back in May, and then it's made a large sideways consolidation. And here we are just breaking out above that consolidation. Whether this wobbles a little bit or not, I think the big picture is if we're going to electric cars and we're moving to upgrade the grid and use energy differently, and especially if we end up with a problem with crude oil being used for transportation and we're forced into more electric cars, if that's the case, a company like this really should make its next leg higher. So it's that kind of thing that I think sets this chart up really, really well. Again, it's already had a big move, 41 to 49 in a few days since the Russian situation started. But again, we're just getting started on this problem, and I don't expect sanctions to be removed tomorrow or 3 months from now or 6 months from now. There would be need to be a lot of stability provided to really get this thing back on track. So I expect the problems we've seen from commodity centric industries to really migrate higher, and I expect Freeport McMoran to be one of the big ones that this works out well for. So we've, over at my previous website, gregschnell.com, we've changed it up. We're starting to do a little bit more brand marketing. The new company name is ospreystrategic.org. You can see that here in the middle of the chart. And again, I've got Dwight Galusha, who also works on the site with me, but we try to give you concise information. This isn't a rabbit hole where you're going to get 50 pieces of mail all the time. You're going to get a concise newsletter and a weekly video, and then you'll get one daily setup per day, or one email with daily setups that is pretty nice and interesting to look at. We like to think we've got some vital indicators for forward-thinking investors. If you're a high net worth individual and a beginning investor just starting out, I think you'll find some of these indicators really help stay on the right side of the trade, and that's probably one of the most important things, especially in this time here. It looks to me like we're going to end up having a bigger bear market for the major indexes, but we're going to have this sector of strength, which I think is going to be energy and commodities, much like 07, 08. And I'm not predicting any sort of drop like 07 or 08. But what we saw there was the indexes actually rolled over and the commodities kept going higher. And as long as we're sitting here, eventually the high commodities will create a problem of a recession in the economy just because they get too expensive. So all of these things working together are really creating kind of a climax, but I expect these commodities to go on a rip-roaring run for a couple of months, maybe a year, maybe, you know, we don't have the end. We're just looking for the breakout, and the breakout is happening across the commodity space now. So with that, I'll let you go. Thank you for taking the time to go through my daily 5. But again, I think we're in a big commodity-centric area here with Russia. Kind of, even if some of their product gets to market, it's the fact that a lot of their product isn't going to get to market that puts pressure across the globe on the rest of these commodity companies to pick it up. And again, that's not going to be easy because a lot of people have been avoiding it for a while. So we've got some serious work to do to make up the difference. Anyway, with that, best wishes, stay healthy, and be very careful here as the indexes are going to be really volatile as we work through this. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Hey guys, Dave Keller here with StockCharts.com. Thanks so much for watching our video. If you enjoyed it, and we hope you did, hit the like button right below. Also, we have so much new content every day. Consider subscribing to the channel. Just hit the subscribe button in the video or right below. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. Have a fantastic day.